Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the round table, something I do here every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, 9 p.m. GMT, and that's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I thought what we would do today, currently no guests on board just yet, but this could be a nice intimate live stream where we just discuss the pros and cons of this current situation. So what is it? Well, Godzilla vs. Kong has been delayed once more. And like I got sent this, what was it? I don't know, yesterday, this all kind of dropped. And it seemed, big news, huge news. And I thought we'd kind of explore it really, because it did seem a bit surprising that this was happening. Hello, mate. Did seem a bit surprising that they moved to this release date anyway, because of course Snyder Cut was there. So it was fascinating that they had decided to release it as is on that date. So we've got the article here. This is a Variety article, which is horrendous on the zoomed in. How do I get rid of this piece of crap? There we go. So Godzilla vs. Kong is on the move again. Shortly after Warner Brothers bumped up the film's release date 2 months earlier than expected from multiple adverts. What is this piece of crap? Get out of here. How do I get rid of adverts? This is where everyone goes, you need ad blocker. And I would probably agree, to be fair. I do need ad blocker. But I'm always remiss to do stuff like that because I know how important ads are. Although, do I really want Variety to earn anything? But anyway, so it moved up, which was from May to March, and that obviously got a lot of people excited, like massively excited, and understandably so. But it was surprising when they did that, because everyone was like, but that's literally a week after Snyder Cut. What's going on with that? And then they announced the trailer. So when the trailer came out, they didn't have an actual release date on the trailer. If you go back and look at it, you'll see that. You'll see, no actual release date. So now it's been pushed back another week, basically. Now, someone's going, it's only delayed a few days. Yeah, it is. It is, absolutely is, yeah. But it's still news. It's still a topic of discussion. That's the entire point. If people think it's going to be releasing on March 26th, well, you're shit out of luck because it's not. So now it's moved, basically. So it says the Monster mashup will launch internationally, where HBO Max is not available, ahead of North America on March 26th. So it's interesting. Now, Legendary Entertainment, blah, blah, blah. 250 million, and then just does the sort of normal bits and pieces that it was discussing. But it's an interesting thing to discuss. Why did it get moved? Well, Snyder Cut, I would imagine. Snyder Cut. Now, obviously, the studio has postponed its domestic premiere by another week. All right, so Godzilla vs. Kong will debut on March 31st, simultaneously in movie theaters and on streaming service HBO Max. So that's 31st. But then the Monster mashup will launch internationally, where HBO Max is not available, ahead of North America on March 22nd, March 26th. So certain locations will actually get it ahead of everyone else. Which does that mean that in the UK it's going to be releasing March 26th? And I guess that's why broad spectrum, they're just going to just swept over the trailer. Was just like, yeah, well, it's releasing in March. They didn't want to specify on the trailer. So hopefully, ladies and gents, I'm just going to move over here so you don't see my dog. Hopefully, in the UK, if movie theaters are open, I'd like to get to see it before guys in the States, which would be fascinating. Now, I'm not sat here making a big song and dance about it, because a lot of people seem really confused. They're like, oh, it's only a week, blah, blah, blah. Calm. I'm very calm. It's just a discussion. I think you kind of miss the point of these things. A lot of people think that, it's releasing in, I don't know, March 26th, whereas some people will now be able to only have to watch it March 31st, and some will be able to watch it earlier. So it's interesting, isn't it? I think it makes a fascinating thing. Now, a lot of people are like, is it a case? Well, I mean, we've got an interesting comment here. So, is it a case of tax issues, tax year, get it out before April? No. I mean, no. It was moved up. It had been delayed anyway, and then they moved it forward. You remember, this movie was supposed to come out last year. So it's not about tax. It's got nothing to do with tax. Maybe to do with interest rates, but the interest rates of the loans and things like that are on all-time low anyway. So it's probably nothing to do with that either. The whole thing, literally, is just about Snyder Cut. So it's interesting how you've got to look at it from a developing standpoint on a streaming service. So the streaming services have never, because it's relatively new to the game, right? Streaming services are relatively new, how they do their release dates and things like that. They're looking at it from a perspective of now, again, this is kind of that linchpin moment where we can go, oh, okay, this is actually what they're doing now. HBO and AT&T very clearly do think, based on whatever, that Godzilla vs. Kong will eat into Snyder Cut viewers or subscribers, or they'll be doing it from the perspective of maybe residuals, because we don't know what the deal was with Legendary. We don't know what Legendary agreed to allow it to actually be released, because it's not Warner Brothers' film, it's Legendary's. Legendary made it. Warner Brothers is just the distributing partner. But they may have come to the conclusion and the decision of, right, well, for however many people sign up, we're going to get this much profit. Could have been part of the deal. We don't know. And if they give another week outside of the Snyder Cut, then they'll know that if people have just joined for the Snyder Cut, so HBO Max, and then have buggered off and then have signed up again maybe for Godzilla versus Kong. There's quite a lot of reasons why they could be doing that. And so that apparently tax was brought up on a Midnight's Edge stream. It's unlikely that it'd be a tax thing. You got to remember, this film was made ages ago, and films are a tax break by and large anyway. So there's I don't see any reason logically why they would want to release it. It should have been released anyway. So them releasing it a week after, I mean, it's still within its limits anyway. So there's nothing to say. I mean, people arguing that it moved from May to April as a tax thing missed the entire point that it was delayed before it moving to May was a delay. So then moving it forward was actually moving it closer to its original date. So to say it's a tax thing doesn't really make any sense. It's kind of like a pretty myopic view of the entire situation. So there you go. Interesting. Now, people are like, oh, delayed again, screw this. Not really. It's not really a big deal, to be honest. It's only a week. But it's just deciphering what the actual issue is. Like, why was it delayed? And it's probably to do with the Snyder Cut, to be perfectly honest. And also as well, I find if I title these streams something other than just the round table, more people turn up. So it's I had to title it something. And it's an interesting discussion. A lot of people are like, I will pirate it then. Why? Why would you pirate it? Are you a fan? Do you not want it to continue? I always find that, comical when people are like, yep, I'm going to pirate it. It's like, why? Why would you choose to pirate it? You literally it's only a week. Calm down. Like, it's only a week. Chill your beans. Chill your beans. You'll all be pleased to know I've actually started watching The Expanse, and I'm now a few episodes into season 3, and we should have Lauren Chen back on Friday to actually do a season 1 review, because she's been watching it as well. So Jack dropped on and says they should have planned this better. I understand they're doing this because of Snyder Cut, but announcing the further delay might have cost them more than it takes bad PR. Nah, genuinely, the amount of views that trailer has got now is unbelievable. It's not going to cost them anything. It won't cost them anything. I mean, it's like 34 million views in 3 days. It's not going to cost them anything. And besides, like, the people that were going to illegally download it, we're going to illegally download it anyway. I can't imagine the people that were going to pay for it are now just suddenly not going to pay for it. It's incredibly unlikely. Incredibly unlikely. And as well, like if that's the reason, just a week's delay, if that's what sort of caused you to go, nope, I'm not doing this now. I mean, really? Bit strange, bit of a strange outlook to have. I'm just inviting some people on, so bear with me 1 second. We shall see. But anyway, yeah, it's all to do with the Snyder Cut. Tax breaks, nah, doubtful, unlikely. You know, everything. I mean, they have. Movies are a tax break anyway, by and large. There's a lot of tax breaks you get from it. I can't imagine that it would come into it too much, in fairness. Gandalf the Fat, I think. I live in the UK, so I won't be able to watch the Snyder Cut and Godzilla vs. Kong. Yeah, Snyder Cut's an interesting one in the UK. I don't know what they're doing for their UK release, to be honest. Who knows? Did they not give any reasoning whatsoever? Ridiculous. I mean, it's not that ridiculous, to be honest. You know, they never normally give a reason why things have moved in general anyway. But it does say anyway, was that no, that's wrong. So this article says Godzilla vs. Kong's latest delay was made in response to news that MGM was postponing James Bond's sequel No Time to Die from April 2nd to October, blah, blah, blah. No, so that was the first one. That was the first delay. So they moved it initially due to No Time to Die because they didn't want to go up against it. But this second delay will only be because of the Snyder Cut. It doesn't take, it's not rocket science. Paleo Geek Chris. Legendary and Warner Brothers created huge buzz over their trailer. Why risk losing it by changing anything? Love your G coverage and laugh my ass off with your Batwoman review attempts. Yeah, thank you. But the thing is, right, is that they've not actually delayed it in a lot of the world. Remember, so shortly after Warner Brothers bumped up the film's release date, blah blah blah, May to 20 March 26. The studio has now postponed its domestic premiere by another week. So that's actually, hands up to the people in the chat, the USA based right now, who's in the States. Because I bet you predominantly it'll be some of the people that are just like, oh, I'm just going to pirate it. And there's your answer. There's your answer. So it's actually it seems to only be delayed for people in the States, the March 31st. Everywhere else, where it's not available, it's on March 26th. So they didn't technically. Well, I guess they did technically. They did delay it. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's annoying, but in terms of losing anything, I don't think they're going to lose any. I don't think they'll lose anything massive by doing this. To be fair, I think ultimately, the people that are and people saying, what about using a VPN to watch it? Well, actually, if you're not in the US, you've got a higher chance of watching it before everyone else. So why not? The thing is, and what people in the States need to remember, which I know is, is not a nice thing. Well, people sometimes take offense to this. I don't really understand how. But you're not the be all and end all. And there's other markets that are open. So Legendary, by the sounds of this, cut a deal with, it's their film. So they had to cut a deal with the distributors. But it looks like it's going to be releasing elsewhere first. Because they can, if the markets are open. And if anything, if your theatres are not open and Legendary is choosing to open it elsewhere, just blame your government. It's not the movie's fault, is it? That your theatres aren't open. And I know that sucks. Like it's not good to hear, but if you're only a small piece of the pie, you've got multiple other territories open, which could produce quite a large income for Legendary, then they're going to take it, aren't they? And you got to remember, we know that, and I hate to say it because I don't like China, but China's open at the moment. Their theatre chains are open. And that was a big savior for these monster movies. So if they're opening it in China first because they're open, well, why not? And again, I'm not a proponent of the CCP in any way, shape or form. But ultimately, if your theatres are closed, and you're not the biggest market anymore, and the biggest market is open, especially if you're not the biggest market for this specific demographic, then they're going to be opening it elsewhere. But it could also be a perspective of they've gone, right, well, where's the biggest audience for the Snyder Cut? The States, right? They might have said that. They might have analysed that the Snyder Cut and the release the Snyder Cut movement predominantly is a stateside movement. I don't know. I'm literally just dropping theories here. But if that is the case, then they would have gone, oh, well, we'll give it a bigger delay then. That makes sense. So there's a few factors to take into account. But tax will be one of the last ones, to be fair. Like, you got to remember they're shuffling it around other movies and other markets. Tax, I doubt massively. I think you're forgetting that it is also the people's responsibility for not respecting sanitary recommendation. No, I disagree, actually, because my movie theatres, the theatres in the UK have never been cleaner. The gyms in the UK have never been cleaner, and they're all closed. You know, mate, to say that completely disregards the absolute lunatic clown state that the UK has been in currently, and it has been an absolute joke. In Wales, just for argument's sake, they've been stopping people going to local dairy farms to buy milk that are out in the open and telling you that you need to go to an enclosed supermarket. That's retarded. That's all levels of nonsense. They're dropping fines for people playing with snowballs and sledging. So no, definitely the blame lies on the government, because it's policy that mandates whether things are open. It is the response. It is the government's response to anything. It's policy, you know? Like, people losing their jobs is not because of a virus. It's because of policy pertaining to the virus. It's really important. It's really important. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, because they're shifting the blame away from them because they don't want to take the blame for millions to be unemployed. And that's going to be the end result of all of this. So you guys potentially watching it, you know, later is quite literally just because of policy. It's not because of other people. Morning H, forgot to say it in the stream, but was curious as to why no date was on the trailer. This means another trailer with a date pinned to it. So that's an interesting, that is really interesting, isn't it, actually? Is that, does this mean we are now going to be getting another trailer? Now, I think you're probably right, but I don't want you to be right, because I don't want another trailer. I want them to hide everything. And I think they've revealed enough. I think people are more than excited, and I don't think that we should get another one, to be honest. But, you know, I'm not going to begrudge it, because they're really good for the channel. I love talking about them, and people like me talking about it. So, but for me as a fan and for the wider populace, I don't want a lot to be spoiled. Marshmallow, morning, afternoon, evening. How you doing, dude? Jonah McKenzie, Mr. H, now that you've seen the Godzilla Kong trailer, how do you still feel about the size comparisons and the accurate size of Godzilla to Kong? Well, look, I mean, it's far. I was always a bit confused as to how they were going to do it. Like, Mike Doherty has brushed it aside and said, well, it's because of radiation. Which I do think is a bit odd, to be fair. Like, I do think that's a bit odd that it would be radiation, because we know that Kong just eats food. So maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I've got no major issue with it. I think him being big is fine. Like, I don't really have a problem with it. I think they're setting it up for a wider expansion to the lore. I think, if you watch the trailer, they're like, oh, the myths are true. There was a war, and these are the last of their kind, right? So they're setting it up for this big, much, much more like grandiose event, rather than, oh, they're just having a fight. And so to do so, you do have to manufacture a reason for that to happen. You know, how would they have done that? How would they even been able to do that? Well, because they're all big. And one thing which was posited on the last stream I did of this on Monday, which was that Skull Island is basically a nursery for Kongs, and then the Hollow Earth is their actual home where they go to mature. That was a sort of a thing between myself and Andre, which I think is a great thing. I think that makes a lot of sense, to be honest. It's how they explain it. Legendary is pretty good at doing these things. I quite like them. So we'll see. We will see. Paleo Geek Chris, I won't break the law pirating a movie. So many changes in G versus K release dates has become a huge frustration. My confidence drops with each change. Yeah, look, I can appreciate that, but hopefully confidence does drop with this one because it seems to make sense to me. Yeah, it to me it makes an awful lot of sense. Only GameStop stocks can save HBO Max. Oh my god, yeah. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Fucking brilliant. What's this? Marshmallow. Having an extremely tight marketing period has its positives, especially during this lockdown period, having 2 months to get everyone riled up. Yeah, I do think I really do think that is part of it. I think that's going to be, yeah, very, very good. I think that'll be massively positive, actually, to be perfectly honest. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out, though. Finbar White. Hey, Mr. H, I was hoping to see Godzilla vs. Kong at cinema, but can't see cinemas in UK being open until next year. So that's the interesting thing, is in the Prime Minister's statement today, he said, we hope to get schools open by March 8th, right? Now, if that does happen, and they're saying things are going to open up after that in a sort of a staggered event of restrictions being loosened and all this kind of crap, which, look, take it with a pinch of salt. Politicians are scum of the earth at the end of the day. But if that is the case, could this be ready by March 26th? Yeah, it could be. It could be, especially if they're going to go case by case, location by location, and say do the tiered approach that we had in the UK before. It might be. It might be. I mean, look, I don't hold my breath, but it might be. It might be. Now, those that are joining this live stream, guys, this isn't me to sit here and rile anyone up. It's just to let you all know that it has been delayed. I'm not doing an actual video on it, so I'm doing this live stream instead. It's been delayed by a week to those guys in the States, but it's actually releasing March 26th to anyone else in other parts of the world where HBO Max is unavailable. So it's not really been delayed, but it has been delayed. And we'll discuss the ins and outs of that anyway at the start of this stream to kind of touch on exactly why, I guess. Yeah. Doggo. Yeah, Doggo's in the background. He's been a dude. There he is, just sleeping. Having a good old chill out. GVK has to be delayed to a week because they had to film the Gamera post-credit scene. They can't. They don't have the rights. I'd love to see Gamera. That'd be epic. But alas, no. I don't think it will happen. Tales from Junkyard. Mr. H, good evening, my friend. And can we all get a hail the table? Yes. Can we get a hail the table? Johnny McKenzie. Mr. H, does any one of your sources ever indicate to you about whether or not if Warner Brothers is still okay with the release of the movie to simultaneous streaming versus global releasing? Let me break that question down again. What is that? What? Are Warner Brothers okay with the release of the movie and simultaneously streaming and global release? I mean, it's a loss leader to them, but one of the other things. So when did this actually drop? The thing is, I don't want to get into too many sort of maybes, if, buts, and maybes. It was confirmed to be moved back by a week on January 26th. Right now, that's the state side. Now they do have. There's a few things to consider here. That stateside, it's being moved back, but it's still releasing in every other territory. That was after the trailer hit 20 million views in 24 hours. Now, Warner Brothers would have access to where people are watching that trailer. Now, another thing people may not have considered is that they have gone and said, right, well, there's a lot more people watching it in this part of again, going back to my territory perspective, there's a lot more people watching it in, I don't know, Japan and China than there are in the States. Their movie theaters are open and Australia's open. There's all these people watching it from that part of the world. Sod it. We're going to open it there. And then again, Warner Brothers would have probably looked at the perspective of the Snyder Cut and gone, well, most of the people watching the Snyder Cut trailer were in the States. Again, I don't know. It's just positing a theory as to why, because you have access to demographics of watching your videos on YouTube. So you got to remember, like, you know, time wise, it hit such a big view count. A few days later, they announced it's been delayed. It may have always been a plan to be delayed, but maybe there's some reasons. I'm not acting like it's a big delay. Literally nowhere. Calm your tartars. So yeah, so I think they're fine with it. I don't see the issue. It's all strategic at the end of the day. But I haven't done a video on it, so I wanted to discuss it via my normal live streams that I do every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Bird Boy. Hi, H. I really hope that final battle will take place in the prehistoric Hollow Earth. Kong with Godzilla against Mecha G or something like that with epic score. Yeah, it would be cool, to be honest. As far as I'm aware, the final fight does actually take place in Hong Kong, but we shall see. Shane White, Jasper is a good boy. Lol, he is a good boy. Look at him. Cuddly little dog. We were just watching The Expanse before this stream. I almost missed it, actually. That's why I was a little bit delayed, because I was watching The Expanse. I was getting into an episode, guys. I'm loving The Expanse. You told me to watch it. I'm here. I'm watching it. Oh, we got a response from Tom. I invited Tom from Midnight's Edge on here. What's he doing? He's on some High Council thing. I don't know what the fuck that is. Probably some stream that he does. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I've invited some people on. We'll see if they come on. It's not really a big deal. Wait, is it Sir Jasper of House H or is it Sir H of House Jasper? Oh no, it's Sir Jasper of House H. Let's not get it confused here, ladies and gents. All right. What if the movie is woke and Kong is gay? I mean, that's very unlikely, isn't it? Let's be honest. Anyway. I think it's Tokyo. No, it was supposedly Hong Kong, actually. Like, genuinely, it's supposedly Hong Kong. How far into The Expanse are you? A few episodes into season 3. I've been literally up all night watching it. Also, as well, those guys that follow me on Twitter at Mr. H Reviews, same as this thing here, whatever it says over there, will know that I watched Willy's Wonderland, which is the Nicolas Cage Five Nights at Freddy's sort of parody film. It's not, but it is, but it's not. And I initially said my review would be out Friday, just to let you all know, because that's why it's really important to follow me on Twitter, because you get to know what's coming up review-wise and you can interact with me. It's now delayed until like February. I don't know why. Let me have a look. I can't remember why. What was it? When is it delayed till? February 12th. Unfortunately, that is the only time I can release my review, which is a shame. But if I want to keep working with these PR companies that send me these things, you do have to abide by the embargoes. So, bit of a shame. But I will say that because that will concern a lot of people, because that's what happens with these things. But there's actually no reason to be concerned. I don't know why they've embargoed it. It's very odd, because it was. That's all I can say. I very much enjoyed it, put it that way. Mr. H, love the show, became a member. Please elaborate. I've been reading some shows that are saying Warner Brothers is sabotaging Zack Snyder Justice League by bringing GVSK. So it's an afterthought. Do you think they would stoop to that level? Well, one, thank you so much for becoming a channel member. And also anyone else that's become a channel member, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. There were some calls for $1 membership. You actually can't do that in the UK. The lowest is like £1 or 99p. So I have added that. So for those that genuinely can't do anything else, because the lowest one was $4.99. For those that can't, there is now like a 99p or £100 membership access. It's all the same stuff. The benefits are all the same. It's just to what level you want to help support the channel, I guess. But thank you so much. Memberships are open now. You do get benefits. Like I just released my Doom Eternal playthrough. Bit of a short one because if you watch it, you'll know why. My heart was pounding. I almost had a heart attack. So in terms of Warner Brothers sabotaging Suicide Squad, I would have said that initially. So when we had the initial release date, I was like, that is really close to Suicide Squad. But they've now moved it back to anywhere. Like the delay is only for places that have HBO Max, right? So that indicates to me that Warner Brothers are wanting to give the movies a wide berth. So it's actually way, way, way far from sabotaging. Because in the rest of the world where there's no HBO Max, they're releasing it on the 26th. So people that don't have HBO Max can't watch the Snyder Cut anyway, right? So it's actually it's quite beneficial for the Snyder Cut. So people saying that it's a sabotaging situation, I don't really understand why. I'm pretty confused with that one, to be fair. Like genuinely confused. It does seem like a weird statement to make. I get it if they kept it forward or you know what I mean? Like it's a bit odd. Dread Max, scale seems off. Look at the Navy ships next to Godzilla's feet in King of the Monsters when he arrives in Boston. Yeah, some Navy ships are quite small, in fairness. I can't remember King of the Monsters. Yeah, well, he was King of Boston, wasn't he? King of the Monsters. Fuck's sake. I can't remember King of the Monsters scaling. I remember 2014 scaling being awful. But I do need to watch King of the Monsters again because I enjoyed that film. I'll watch it again and report back to you. But I think the scaling is always, without knowing exactly what they're going up against, right? It's very difficult to get the scaling. So when they released the first trailer, I was like, right, okay. No, the first teaser, I was like, right, okay, well, what aircraft carrier is this? Let's see if it's even possible for them to fit on it. You know, not physics, you know, because physics they wouldn't be able to, but would they be able to stand on it material structure wise in terms of how big it is? And they would actually, because the biggest aircraft carriers in the world are bigger than Godzilla and Kong. So they would, but it's difficult not knowing what they're going up against, you know. Neat switch. I may have been persistent regarding the topic of The Expanse. Watched Endless, by the way. It was good. Endless is great. Endless is awesome. And The Expanse, loads of people have been telling me to watch it for ages. And I'm glad you guys did because I have started watching it. You got Lauren Chen to start watching it, and she'll join on Friday for a discussion on the whole season 1. So that'll be really good fun, and I hope you guys tune in for that. That'll be a good laugh. I think that'll be good fun here on the channel. As you convince us both to watch it, so you guys have got to join in now, and also hit the thumbs up button, ladies and gents. Give this video, this live stream, a massive thumbs up. By the way, the writers of the books are also on the show. Well, that makes sense then, because I'm sure a lot of people will probably not. And that's one of the main gripes of these things, isn't it? When writers of books are sort of tossed to one side and they sort of do their own thing on the shows that are adapted from it. So that's good. Good to hear. In Tennessee, Godzilla vs. Kong's opening March 31st, 2021 at AMC Theatres. Exactly, yeah. So in the States, it is opening a week later. In the States, it opens a week later. Not anywhere else, just in the States. It's only domestically it has changed. And so that indicates to me that they are trying to give Snyder Cut and Godzilla vs. Kong a bit of a wider berth. Now, you could indicate that's because they actually don't have confidence in Snyder Cut, so they're trying to give it a wider berth so people sign up and watch it. So then they're not, spill over with King of the, Godzilla versus Kong when it releases a week later. You could interpret it in that way. There's many ways to interpret this, but I think it's promising in any regard. Like no matter what way you look at it, it's quite promising, especially from a Godzilla like a fan standpoint. It's very promising. Mr. H, I present to you my small contribution to the table, and of course, hail the table. Thanks, dude. And also, guys, if you're interested in American cars, check out Tales from the Junkyard. Now, I only subscribe to a few people here on YouTube, but I do actually subscribe to them because I like weird cars, and they've reviewed some weird cars, so I like it. Marshmallow, how many times a day do you take Doggo for a walk? I take Bear 3 times a day, sometimes 4, aiming for about 2 hours, averaging 90 minutes for now. So it's dependent, actually. Each breed is different, and it also is dependent by their age as well. So you're not supposed to over-exercise a dog when they're in their very younger years of life. When they're a puppy, when they're in their first like 6-ish months of life, you can over-exercise them because their bone density and their growth plates are still like open. So you do need to be careful. Because I mean, Jasper snapped his leg and snapped the bone and twisted all the bone in his back leg when he was a puppy. And we think that was because he was running up and down the stairs, maybe, but he didn't really do that. They're very fragile, so you got to be careful. But Jasper now, as he's like coming up 2.5, I walk him for about an hour. It's an hour and a half a day, I guess. But he's tiny. They don't need a great deal of exercise. And he gets to play in the garden every now and then. Well, most mornings, every morning, in fact, because he goes out there for his toilet time in the morning, very briefly, whilst I'm having my cup of coffee. But yeah, look it up, because it's breed specific, my dude. Paleo Geek, if asked, would you appear on Friday Night Tights? Yeah, sure. I mean, I've never watched it, but yeah, sure. It's dependent if it interferes with this. If it's around the same time, no, because you guys are you're the reason why I do this, so I'm not gonna not do my stream for someone else's stream, because that's wrong. That's like tossing my subscribers to one side. I don't think that's good, to be honest, is it? Reveal a bit. How do you like the Expanse so far? Oh, no, I really like it. I wouldn't be watching it otherwise. I give shows a few episodes and then I bin it off. If I don't like it, I don't waste my time. I've got too much stuff to watch, and I don't like to waste time on stuff I'm not enjoying. It's just fucking waste of time. I watch stuff for comedic effect, obviously, like Batwoman, Bitch Mams. No, I really like it, and I am actually very confused with a lot of people. Like the first seasons, maybe it's because everyone kept saying the first few seasons were really slow and it gets better. So I was expecting it to be really slow, but I didn't see how slow it was. I know it's picking up, like I can see it's picking up, but I don't get the real slow comments that people were making. I really liked it. I thought it was good. Marshmallow actually liked the scaling in 2014's Godzilla. Yeah, I mean, I quite liked it as well, to be fair. But it was way off because it kept changing all the bloody time. So yeah. Evil Alex, how are your films doing? So, I'm going to be doing an update video on that soon. But just because you're here and you've asked, they're good. So Broken Lights has been entered into 5 film festivals, and that will be just released whenever. The moment I know that it's got into a film festival or not, then I will be able to release it. That's how that works. However, Blackfields is done and was submitted to 2 film festivals today that actually are in March. So Blackfields actually has a release date now of April 3rd. So there you go. That's when it is officially releasing. April 3rd. It's all done. It's completely done. I've rendered a master copy. It's done. Absolutely done. It's got credits. It's all completed. Completely sound design, scored. I mean, it's done. Like, it's submitted to film festivals, so it's done. Now I only submitted that one to film festivals as a sort of a formality. I don't think that one will do very well at all because it's not what film festivals look for. It's a bunch of masculine men running around with weapons, killing, being barbarians and shit. So it's not realistically what they're looking for, and that's fine because I didn't make that film for them. I made that film for you guys that helped fund it. So yeah, there you go. April 3rd is actually when it's releasing. I will do a video on that soon. But seeing as you're here and you asked, you get the benefits of being at the table, the round table. You get to know these things before other people, you see. Someone asked, when you're having RMB on again, make any future plans? So I always invite him on, but he's very busy and he doesn't really check his DMs on Twitter. He's very active on Twitter, but he seldom checks his DMs, and he's normally a busy guy. So it hasn't lined up, but I always invite him on. Like for basically every single stream, I do send out an invite. He's been on twice now. Yeah, I think it was twice, and he's a good dude. I really like him. I like having him on. So I'm happy to have him on whenever. Yeah, he's always interesting to talk to as well. Always has very interesting takes on things, and it's good to have a wide variety of takes. Like it's interesting for you guys, opposing views, not to be flippant. You know, no one wants to hear two people talk when one of them's just been a flippant dickhead, but opposing views make for an interesting discussion, or at least open-minded opposing views anyway. Let me scroll back up. I think I missed a few super chats. No, I missed 2. Let me have a look. Neat Switch. No. It will get awesome at Expanse. I think it's awesome anyway. That's the thing. Like, I genuinely do think it is awesome. I'm having a really good time with it. I the other night I stayed awake till like 4 a.m. watching it. That's how much I've been enjoying it. Would you like to see Guillermo del Toro, but butchered that, no? Direct a Kong or Godzilla film? No. I actually wouldn't, because I think I want him to do his Lovecraft film, to be fair. That's what I want to see. I want to see him do a Lovecraft film. So, yeah. What does the H in Mr. H Review stand for? Is that just a quirky, catchy YouTube name, or is it an abbreviation of your actual name? No, I just made it up. Needed a name, so did that. And that was it. Have I missed the... I don't know if I've missed one. When will you start your kaiju movie script, Mr. H? Probably never. I don't think I'm ever going to get the funding to do that, man. We'll see. We will see. Where can I watch The Expanse, Evil Alex? It's on Amazon Prime, man. It's on Amazon Prime. It's good. Yeah, it's good. Bear turned 5. Oh, okay. I thought you got a puppy. That's not a puppy. That makes sense then. So you got a rescue dog then. Or maybe you did say that. I think I was under the impression you got a puppy for some dumbass reason. It looked cute though. For those that don't know, on Patreon, I do Patreon Skype hangouts for a certain tier. So this Chapo's dog dropped in, photobombed a bit like Jasper. Jasper, you're just chilling out, bro, aren't you? You're a funny little man. Just like Jasper does. Doggos photobomb all the time. Brilliant. Hello, Miss H from Black Country, West Mids. Don't say that now. That's racist, man. Don't say that these days. I'm amazed they haven't changed that phrasing, to be honest. Here we go. So how are we, who support the film, going to watch it, Mr. H? It's releasing on the channel, guys. It's free to everyone. And then that will coincide with a physical copy release, not of the, well, it is of the film, but it's also of a hour-long documentary of the film, the making of. That's limited only to Blu-rays, and that will be open up. And on April 3rd, that will be open exactly the same time. So if you want to buy it as a physical hard copy with a Blu-ray, like it's a nice little limited edition thing. Very, very limited run. It's only going to be available for 30 days that the physical hard copy will be available for. It'll be the film, it'll be the making of, so the behind the scenes. It will have production stills, so there'll be a whole bunch of photos that were taken throughout the entirety of production, concept art, trailers. I think that's it. I think that's all that's in the Blu-ray bundle. But yeah, so it's available for people just to watch, but April 3rd is the release date. That's when people will watch it, and then available elsewhere for people that actually want to support it, because people that supported making the film. It's not made any profit. So if you want to support it and also have access to a behind the scenes documentary and a little bit more, then that's up to you. But you don't have to. It's just for those that want to. But I'm hoping you guys will, because I think you'll enjoy it. I'm really excited. I'm genuinely excited. And the behind the scenes documentary is fucking brilliant as well. Like, it's really, really good. Genuinely really, really good. Gonna watch your Psycho Gorman review. I saw the movie the other night, found it great fun, about 9 out of a Sabushti 10. Yeah, it's good. I enjoyed it. I think it's good. I watched Kong on 4K last night. It's really good and practically confirms Hollow Earth beneath Skull Island. Yeah, I mean, it does confirm it, doesn't it? So yeah, absolutely confirms it, which is good. Like, it's good. How old is Jasper? 2.5. Will the Blu-ray be region coded? No. I mean, no. The idea is to not do that at all. I don't want it to be region coded. We'll see how it goes, though. I'm not too sure, really. But the idea is to not do that. I don't want them region coded. Just should be able to play it anywhere. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We do have a guest today. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, good. Yeah, good. Just when the Emperor of Mankind drops in and says no Tom or Andre. Yeah, good timing. Good.
A little
timing.
late, but I made it here.
Just you're slacking, bro. That's what it is.
I was finishing up something else, and I had to take care of that first, and then. Yes.
Unbelievable. Yeah, we don't always have guests here on the round table. I do prefer to have guests because
I like that Kong's behind me.
He is, yeah. Well, I got Godzilla in my corner, mate, so I'm gonna fuck you up, son.
Well, in this case, a god is gonna kneel to a king.
Yeah, all that fucking when people.
I can't believe you didn't play with that in the trailer. I mean, come on.
No,
that would downplay in the trailer.
I know, but
I'd have loved it.
Well, so look, come on, give me your opinion, because a lot of people apparently have been listening to your Midnight's Edge thing, and some people have been saying it's a tax break. So, give me your opinion of this delay.
Oh, I don't. Andre brought somebody brought something. I don't think it has anything to do with tax break necessarily. Az was just saying that it's all coming out just before the end of the quarter. That may have to do with just to help boost their situation. That's what he meant with that. The other part we were just talking about is how glaring it was that they made the Snyder cut into one movie now instead of 4 parts, and then they pushed this to the end of the month in basically what is in our market over here the Easter holiday weekend. So that tells me that they lost faith in the Snyder cut and they've gained faith in this, I guess, or they know they're banking more on this. Not only bringing in people, but yeah.
So that's interesting, because there's actually a few. I think people need to broaden their scope a little bit on this. Is that, remember, this is only region specific to you guys in the States, not anywhere else. It's just domestic market,
right?
So there's a few things to consider here. Is that they're looking very specifically at people in the States, right? So it's a stateside issue, because any other market, they're releasing it in theaters on the 26th. So a few things to consider is it came out a few days after the trailer released. Did they look at the demographic in the trailer and go, oh, well, we can earn quite a lot of money actually just releasing it there. That's fine. We'll just release it then. Yeah. And did they look at the demographic of those that are supporting the Snyder Cut trailer and go, oh, there's actually quite a lot of them in, stateside, very stateside focused. So we'll give them a bit of a wide berth. Or did they look at the numbers of Godzilla vs. Kong and go, well, actually, we don't want anyone to cannibalize that. And the other thing which I thought of was that, well, if Legendary cut a deal with subscriber base to catch on some residuals of something, maybe there's some kind of financing thing that, they said, well, Warner Brothers, you have to pay X, Y, and Z per, I don't know, subscriber that you get, that's the deal that they cut. So maybe they're trying to give it a wide berth so they know exactly, or they can at least quantify it a little bit more.
Well, they could be able to quantify it by views, actually. So, really, if they really wanted to pinpoint it, in that case, because I get what you're saying there, like the deal, whatever deal they worked out with Legendary, basically, yeah.
The tax thing is not likely because it was supposed to release last year anyway.
No. I think somebody just misunderstood what Az was saying. He was just he was just talking about how that's the end of the quarter and it'll, it has all to do with, the money side of things. And it's like, well, yeah, I'm sure that has partially to do with why they want to get as many subscribers as they can by that period. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what he's getting at. In that case, yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Jack's here saying, can I recommend a guest, Robert Meyer Burnett? Yeah, I've had him on before, but he's just so bloody busy.
He is. He's very busy.
Yeah, look, I'll send him an invite now, but he's...
Yeah, go for it. Tell him I'm here.
It's unlikely.
Kidding.
It's genuinely unlikely. I've got just link after link that I've been sending him. So
I do the same thing.
Hey?
I do the same thing. He just pops up when he can.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, guys. So I do send out invites to it. I am actually just invited Script Doctor on as well, but he's hectic and busy. But we've got Lauren. I hear Lauren's joining you on Friday, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, she's joining my stream afterwards. We're going to be reviewing The Expanse season 1.
And actually, Rob's live right now, so I don't think he'll pop in anyway. So.
Huh?
I think Rob's busy right now. So.
Oh right. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah. I thought you randomly talking about Midnight's Edge, Rob. I was like, what?
No. The other Rob. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I honestly send that as invite. I send the invites out to Robert Meyer Burnett, but I never expect him to come on. Whenever he does, I'm like, oh, you're right there. Fine, yeah, finally dropped on. Yeah. So what do you think then? What does your gut tell you?
I liked a lot of it. I thought I had a lot of fun with the trailer. I wasn't too keen necessarily on the rap music per se, but it felt more like a TV spot with that in there for some reason. Outside of that, there's a little bit of the human element still creeping into the trailer that I didn't like.
Oh, we haven't talked about the trailer with you here, have we?
No. But other than that, no, I thought the trailer was amazing otherwise. So
yeah, that rap music sucked, man.
Yeah,
I don't know why they did that.
In a regular trailer, you have to put like an orchestral or something like that. Now, if this was a TV spot, I wouldn't be bitching. Because that's typical of a TV spot. Because we've had those for years, where they'll throw a pop song in there and cut the trailer to the pop song. That's nothing new. But to do it in a theatrical-ish trailer just kind of
it was just very out of place, especially because you're following it up quite good music with that, and I was like, what? It just I don't know. It just seemed odd, very odd.
I get what they were trying to do with it, but again, I stress if it was a TV spot, I wouldn't be bitching about it. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. TV spot is fine. I don't care because they're supposed to be a bit quick, bit throwaway. Oh, people. Oh, great. Just a quick little excerpt. But first trailer, odd.
Not only that, if you're going to throw a pop song in there, how couldn't it? Especially with the way Kong's pounding, it should have been "We Will Rock You Anyway" or something like that.
Hey, because they're trying to appeal to kids. I think that's what it is.
Oh, surely, because they know that's their audience, and that's one thing I brought up because. We've had that talk before, and I think the thing is the kids love this shit. So I think that's they're not hiding that fact at all. They definitely
they've got my money. They don't want fucking old fart me. That's not who they're trying to appeal to with this trailer.
Well, you got 2 kids as the main cast, so what do you expect?
Yeah, well, exactly. Jack says, has Andre and Tom started to watch The Expanse? Have you watched The Expanse?
Not yet,
mate. You've got to.
I'm trying to get there.
I'm season 3, mate, already.
I've heard it's pretty bingeable, so.
It is, yeah, no, honestly, I get to the end of an episode, I'm like, I can stay up another hour. Then it gets to like 2, 3, 4 a.m. I'm like, I should go to sleep right now. I'm fucking tired.
No, as soon as he says to get started, I will, so.
It's really good. It's really good. It's 1 week delay. Why are you guys worried? I'm not worried.
No, nobody's worried.
Nothing about.
No, the
I've said
delay
to you
was
worried.
strategic. In fact, I believe
It
the
is all
delay was
strategy. In fact, like
completely strategic. Yeah.
it's more positive than it is negative, quite frankly, because
No,
it. Go on.
I was just gonna say, not only that, it's not like this is. I mean, yeah, it's going to be in theaters, but it's not going to be as in many theaters as you'd think. And again, it's all about moving a movie like this. Now, this is going to happen to a lot of their movies. I bet you they're going to move Dune up, and some other things are going to happen because they're not so worried about the theatrical aspect, and you don't have to worry about changing dates so much. Then
we don't know about Dune yet, though, because we don't.
Well,
know
it was very prominent in the new trailer. Did you see that this morning?
Hey.
Didn't you see the new trailer this morning for the HBO Max deal? It was very prominent in that trailer.
No, I didn't see it.
I'll send it to you.
I'll be keen to see that. I don't.
There's actually a couple shots that aren't in any of the trailers that were in that. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, the thing is, with Dune, like you can't really break it down because it's from a book. It's been adapted a few times, but you're more. I think more. You look at Dune more from a perspective of, wow, this is going to be great. Just like a bit of an event film. You're not looking at it for spoilers because it's been spoiled. Newsflash, it's a book. It's an old book. You know what's going to happen, but it's more just how they execute it that I'm more excited about. I think that's what I'm genuinely excited about. Just how it sort of comes together.
Yeah, but after this trailer, Andre and I are pretty sure they must have come to some deal with Legendary because it's very prominent.
Yeah,
the first shot scene right after, and the name of the trailer is Day and Date. So
yeah, but you say that, mate. You say that because they bloody went and did the they did the other HBO announcement before they told anyone literally anything that they were doing it. So,
no, I know, but I think this is actually real because it came right on the heels of they've now finally got the deal in place for Godzilla versus Kong and
well,
so I'm sure they worked out whatever. Like you said, it could very well be that whatever the views they get or whatever new subscribers that watch it and stuff like that, it could be, or they just cut them a check. It's one of those many things. It's hard to say.
Absolutely. TJ says, do you know of Altiori? I recommend you bring her on here at some point. I do know of her, yeah. I don't speak to her though. I do know of her. I'm happy to have her on, I guess. Reach out to her, get her to reach out to me, I guess. I will see. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to have people on. And I want to expand the sort of mainstay of people that drop on these live streams as well. It's good to have like a roster of people that sort of circulate around. I was really surprised that Lauren was happy to drop back on, actually, to be honest. So good. You guys didn't scare her away. Good. I don't know what your audience is like when Lauren's been on before, but it was very interesting.
No, I don't think we had any problems.
No, I did have some problems actually. Before the stream started, I had a bunch of people saying, "I'm unsubscribing from you. You're giving a homophobe and a bigot a platform." I was like, "What?" Like, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
And then I had an altercation with it's not an altercation. I had a conversation with someone who follows Andre, one of your subscribers, because Andre shared the stream, and then they were like, "Well, she's a racist," and I was like, well, one, you don't need to worry because it's not on Midnight's Edge, because he thought that Andre was promoting her being on your guys' channel. I was like, well, that's not the case, but I'm not really going to take an idiot's word for someone apparently being a racist when you can't even read whose channel this person is supposed to be on. Forgive me for not, taking every word you say there, my dear.
Most of the time when those kind of comments come up, they're generally from accounts that I've never seen before, so I don't take them very seriously.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But anyway, yeah, so we've got Lauren coming back on the channel on Friday to talk about The Expanse, season 1. So stay tuned for that.
She's so racist. She's hanging out with all these white boys.
Yeah.
Fucking racist.
Thought you were in season 2, but yeah, season 3 is awesome. You really binged it. I did binge it. Yeah, I've watched it, like properly binged it if I'm in season 3.
Mupo asks, why is she racist? My guess is they just found something she said that didn't fit with the certain mind think, and they're just trying to twist it as racist.
No, I can tell you what they...
Oh, you know exactly what it is.
Yeah, hold on, I'll get these super chats out of the way and I'll explain. Because they gave me an example, and I was like, this example sucks, man. Like, the context of the whole thing.
I gotta hear it. Yeah.
Which sequel do you hope gets made more, Underwater 2 or Psycho Goreman? I'd want to see Underwater actually more than I would. Psycho Goreman's good, but I think it's a one and done. I want to see Underwater 2 over. If you give me the option, the butt of 2 is Underwater. Looking forward to Friday. Cool, perfect. Yeah, so apparently this individual. So I was like, well, I'm open to being wrong. You know, I don't know if she is right. So give me an example. Like, what is it? Like, I don't know. And the example was her discussing cultural ramifications of mass immigration, right? And I was like, but that's not racist. That is an adult conversation about cultures clashing with other cultures, which no matter what way you look at it, not every culture aligns with one another. You know, that's just how it is, unfortunately. And this is coming from someone who used to live and work in a very, very multicultural area. I used to live and work.
Non-argument at all.
No, well, it's not. It's not racist, is it? To have a conversation about
it's fucking
cultural ramifications of mass.
You got to give me something better than that.
Well, this is what I said to him. I was like, that doesn't. That I was like, no, that's a valid conversation. It's an adult conversation that people have, and unfortunately, you know, I don't see the issue. You know, I don't see the problem with having. You could not agree with it, but you can't say that's that's not that doesn't make someone racist, right? That's complete nonsense. Us a tribe.
I mean, that's a situation you can even have like you can kind of equate to a situation of like having a baby, you know, in a household. You have only so much room in a household, so much to go around. If you're happening to expect a new child, what happens? You have to adjust, right? You have a conversation about how these things have to be handled. That's what she's talking about. She's not talking about somebody's race. She's talking about, I'm sure.
It's culture. That's the thing. Exactly. Like, race doesn't come into it. It's culture. Yeah. It's what happens when you mix cultures that clash. And again, it's just an adult conversation. But people don't like having adult conversations these days. And that's just the sad part of the world, isn't it?
Well, and that comes with it. I'm willing to bet most of them are probably from America or something like that, because most people don't realize. Yeah, I'd imagine so. Yeah, they're so fucking narcissistic that Americans, we don't realize that the rest of the world is so different.
Well, yeah. Well, so I found what was it? Something was trending on Twitter one day, and it blew my mind. Black Brits was trending on Twitter, right? Black Brits, hashtag Black Brits, and it was Black Americans slagging off Black British people, actors, for playing, I kid you not, Black Americans in movies, right? I am not making this up, ladies and gents. It was mind-boggling. I lost brain cells looking at it, but it was also hilarious at the same time.
I wish you had this face palm from Airplane.
Mate, honestly, I could face palm myself so much, my brain would blow up. It was just insane. And they were slagging off Black British actors for playing Black Americans because they've not lived the experience. And I was like, mate, like
that's not really what they're upset about.
Well, so this is just insane. Anyway, we're getting way off topic.
But you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Darren Matthews for £10 says, Mr. H, at 1 minute 42 into the G versus K trailer on the screen, there is what looks like a 2D Mecha G mechanical layout with feet and arms. Yes, you, my good sir, are talking about this. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
It is absolutely what it is. Now you've said with an orca sound under it, thoughts. Now that's interesting. So I'll move your comment out of the way. Now you're talking about the wave file, basically, aren't you? The sound file there. Now when I spoke to Andre about this and Ellie Moses, I said, well, what if they're, what if it's like it could be Ghidorah's call, or it could be them playing Godzilla's call. Now you're interesting. You're saying, what about the orca sound? I think that's even better, to be honest. What if they use Mecha Godzilla and orca technology within it, and they blast it out to lure some of the Titans away?
Probable.
It is pretty probable, isn't it? Actually,
or if not away to, if it's depends on who's using it. But yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, no, I 100%, but like well spotted. And I like that orca. I like the orca theory. I think that works quite well, to be honest. Jack drops on and says, "What movie did you like that was underappreciated and underrated?" Mine, I can think of now, are Sunshine, Doctor Sleep, and Blade Runner 2049. Especially Sunshine with its great atmosphere, cinematography, and soundtrack. So I really like Sunshine. I like Doctor Sleep personally, and I really like Blade Runner 2049. I'm a big fan of that film, and I watched it again recently. I don't get the hate for Blade Runner. Fucking love it. Like I love it. I really love it. I like as a film, I love it. People start talking about the reasons behind the film and the money and the budget and the stupidity. You're not reviewing a film at that point. The film itself, I really liked.
No, the arguments I've heard about it that I accept in the critiques are the ones who it's whatever they perceive the original film to be in this film, deciding what that film is. Right. I think that's what a lot of people have issue with. As far as the actual legitimate critique,
is an underappreciated, underrated film. That got basically no presence at the time of release.
Man on the Moon to me is a very underappreciated film. Let me think. There's a few good ones, I'm sure.
The Gentleman. That film got basically no traffic when it was released either. That was great. That was a fucking fantastic film.
There's so many classic like films that people have never seen or just don't get the attention they should. But I guess
Under the Skin.
Which one?
Under the Skin. That's the one with Scarlett Johansson, isn't it? Under the Skin. That's a great film. That's a really good film. I did a review of that. That was the review I submitted to be accredited as a journalist for Sundance, actually, and they accepted it, and I was really proud of that.
Gosh, I'm trying to think because there's always so many great classic films that I love that are always overlooked. I mean, there's some good ones that are coming up in the chat. A lot of those are like I would consider more cult classics now, though, like Tremors and Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm sure I'll think of some at some point, but
yeah, have a think and drop back in.
Yeah.
Marcos A says, "Mr. H and Tom, love Midnight Sage." There you go. You get some love there. Thoughts on first episode of Star Wars: The High Republic author? Discuss the new Jedi and villains.
I didn't watch it. I didn't.
Sorry, what is there? Is like a web series out? What is this?
Yeah, if this is the one starring Christina, what's her face? I'm assuming.
Oh, the racist.
Yeah,
you want to talk about a racist?
Yeah,
that's a racist making sweeping statements about white people, massively negative sweeping statements about white people. That's a racist.
Last Action Hero. That's a good answer, Bo Weeb. That doesn't get brought up enough as far as Schwarzenegger movies go. That's a good one.
I've never been on that site before, but after being on it, I don't think I would use it again. Okay, yeah, you're referencing your earlier comment about Lauren Chen. Yeah. I've got to catch up with these super chats. Mary Jane Kells, going back to GVK, what do you think those monsters were that were flying around all of their heads here and there throughout the trailer?
Aren't those the bat creatures from Kong?
So, would from the Kong comic?
Oh, was it I'm trying to remember. Didn't he fight something like that in the movie, or am I mistaken in remembering the Peter Jackson movie where he fought the bat creatures and that too?
But that's Peter Jackson movie, though, isn't it?
But wasn't there flying ones in the? Yeah, but wasn't there flying ones? Weren't those things in Kong Skull Island, or am I thinking of something?
No, so they were green wings or something like that. I can't remember. And then in the prequel graphic novel, there are Camazotes. And then in the other prequel novel, there are Psycho Vultures. So I think that these are Psycho Vultures, but I could be wrong. They might just be mini Camazotes.
They look like big bats, yeah. So I'm
I mean, they do look like big bats. So
I'll take that.
Yeah.
This is like my childhood wet dream. Like outside of the people shit, like all the monster stuff is like,
it's just so cool, isn't it?
Yeah, like this is the kind of shit cool. I would have loved to have as a kid. Because I mean, I used to watch King Kong versus Godzilla all the time as a kid.
Well, I think they've just done such a good job. I mean, look, it's just beautifully made. Look at this. Yeah, and like that proper Hollow Earth there as well.
Yep.
Like the war bats, super cool. Marshmallow drops on and says Donnie Darko is underrated. Yeah, Yeah, but that's got cult-like following now, isn't
It does, yeah. I didn't care for the ending, but yeah. And there's always some good ones. I'm sure I'll think of at some other point that I'm not on a stream.
Event Horizon. Yeah, that was
That one's getting a lot of late love. I've
yeah,
noticed.
like huge love actually.
Yeah.
Huge love. 10 Cloverfield Lane is Evil Alex's answer. I really like that film. I have a lot of love for that film.
I couldn't stand Cloverfield, so I could care less if it was attached to the other. But
10 Cloverfield Lane's great. Is it John Goodman, isn't it? He's menacing in that. Oh, just.
But you can totally tell it was not meant to be a Cloverfield movie or whatever.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I don't care. It's still good.
No, I don't care either. It was good.
Still really enjoyed that.
Underrated.
God, you really are having a hard time, aren't you?
Well, I know there's some that'll be like, oh crap, later on, I should have thought of that, like kind of thing. I hate doing that. That's my own thing. So.
Brady Photography says Alita Battle Angel. That was pretty underrated, actually, wasn't it?
I never finished watching it, but yeah, I got to finish watching that.
Yeah, I liked it. So Axel drops on, says, sorry, just got here, but it's delayed. So yeah, if you've not, if you're joining a bit late, it is delayed, but only domestically. So domestically means those in the States. It's delayed by a week for those guys in the States. Not a massive delay. But everywhere else in the world, it releases the same date because we don't have HBO Max. So they want to release it in theaters, basically, which is fine. Now,
there's a few places that have HBO Max, but not many, right?
Basically none, mate. Basically none. Not not many at all.
Okay.
Mr. L, GVK will definitely be the most fun MonsterVerse film.
Oh yeah.
I think so.
I mean, as long as they keep the stupid human shit to a minimum, we'll be fine.
It's wishful thinking, mate.
I know.
That is way wishful thinking.
I know.
Another underrated movie is The Endless. That's a great film. And a recent one, Synchronic. That seems pretty underrated. Not many people have watched that. That's a really good film. In fact, that's one of the best films I've watched for the last couple of years now. Pretty much on par, I would say, with... So I watched, and I really loved it, and I stand by it. It was just such a great film. Ford versus Ferrari, or Le Mans.
That was a good one.
That's just if you don't almost shed a tear at the end, mate, you're a heartless mofo, because that film was that caught me right in the feels.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All
offhand though, I can think of like Shock Treatment. The sequel to Rocky Horror is always overlooked, and it was a lot better than I think people give it credit for.
Yeah.
Gosh, what else? There's a couple other ones like I know I always usually have like on a list in my head that.
Comrade Commissar Yuri says Skullcrawler's a lizard-like. Kong might consider G as a big lizard.
Pretty much.
He's prejudiced against lizards. He's xenophobic. That's what it is. Just xenophobic.
Kong's a racist.
Here we go. Dark City.
Yeah, Dark City is one that's always brought up.
Yeah. I got some members dropping in the chat saying Prisoners, Leon, The Professional.
Yeah. I was like Popeye, the Robin Williams one. I always feel like it's over.
Gone Girl is best romantic film. Holy shit.
Kind of going through my list.
I watched this the other day. Colossal with Anne Hathaway. It is very underrated. Yeah,
I haven't seen that one yet.
It is interesting, that film. It is interesting.
One I like a lot that most people haven't seen, American Pop. It's a animated Ralph Bakshi movie from I think 1980.
Oh really?
That's a good one.
The Prestige, Ellie says.
I have that. I haven't watched it yet. I just got it on 4K.
All Things Ada.
Sleepers is a good one. Yeah, if you're talking about the one I'm thinking you're talking about.
Mr. Agent Tom, would you guys think Dune will be a slow burn like the Blade Runner 2049? I personally prefer movies with great atmosphere and cinematography over theme park like action set pieces. Thoughts? It will massively, massively be a slow burn, and I think it will be brilliant for it. I don't think. I mean, yeah, it is. It is a slow burn by definition.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be bad. I hope it's not.
Yeah, but
bad.
the thing is, so a lot of people hear slow burn and they think negatively.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that and going, yeah, slow burn, really good. Like, I'm happy that it's a slow burn.
As long as the payoff's good, yeah. I mean, I hate a movie that's like boring and then you give me 5 minutes at the end. No, I don't like that. But
yeah,
like
I think we peppered in throughout.
Yeah, I mean, if you're setting up your world, setting up your mood, that kind of a thing, especially. Excuse me, depending on your movie. But yeah, Dune is one of those movies that's prime for that, to set up your world and your background and all your other characters and just the ideas that you're presenting.
Finbar White says, I liked 316.
316 to Yuma.
Do you mean the 310 to Yuma?
That's what I was going to say. I think that's what I mean.
Yeah. I like that film. That was great. Really like that film, actually.
The 1990 Ninja Turtles movie always gets overlooked when it comes to comic book movies when people talk about them. That and Heavy Metal always get overlooked.
Yeah. Heavy Metal. Jacob Kruger, if we're talking underrated, You Were Never Really Here. That is such a good film. And Her, another Joaquin Phoenix film. Both of them are great.
I watched some of Her. I haven't seen the whole thing yet, though. I see why people like it. It just wasn't my cup of tea, that's all.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I get it, but yeah.
Have you seen You Were Never Really Here?
Who's in that? Because the name sounds familiar. Huh?
Joaquin Phoenix.
I think so.
It's great.
How old is it?
I don't know. Not that old, I don't think.
Maybe not. But I've probably seen the trailer then, at least. Because it might be a movie I'm thinking of that's a little older, and that's not it. But yeah.
Yeah. I liked it a lot. Glad to see so many celebrities in the general audience are all aboard the hype train. Is it due to the pandemic and desperation, perhaps? For Godzilla vs. Kong, no, I think people are genuinely excited for it. I think that they've done really well with that trailer.
Well, not just the trailer. They've been doing a good job building up this universe. Even with the minor gripes I have with the second film, all the movies have been good.
Yeah.
And the minor gripes I have with the first film, of course, are the same gripes most people have. They bait and switched us with the star and, the cutting away every time something cool happens. Other than that, I mean, I love all the films so far. And kids love it. And that's one thing I've noticed as far as like the toys are still selling. They were selling constantly even after the film.
I remember.
Yeah. And the video must be doing well because it's not been in the discount bin yet. And other movies have surpassed it. So as far as getting chucked in the bin at Walmart. So I pay attention to those things. Yeah.
Even where I am, they get moved in super quick. So
no, Kong's still one of those $15 titles. So it's still sitting there in their secondary area or whatever you want to call it. Not their main, end cap, but it's in that.
Yeah. So it's sat there as a mainstay sort of thing. Yeah,
kind of thing to where it's been there since it came out. So
yeah. Must be doing well. Marcy D says, "Ready or Not?" Yes,
that one looked good. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard it's good. Yeah,
you need to. That is how to do a strong female.
I think that's on. Is it on HBO Max or something right now? It's on one of them. I swear it's on one of the. I've got all the streaming services pretty much, but yeah.
Marshmallow says, Kaya Aniskatsi is one of the most underrated. I don't even know how to say that.
Sounds like a foreign film.
Yeah. Aniskats. I'll have a look.
Sounds Russian, but I could be wrong. Kanitsky?
I don't know.
I'm probably wrong.
But honestly, a fun, mindless popcorn monster mash is what the world craves and perhaps even what it needs right now. Yeah, I think so. I think a bit of dumb fun.
I don't think anybody expects more than that from this, though, either. That's the thing.
No.
And I think they, if anything, the one excuse I will give them with the rap song in the trailer is it's kind of basically them telling us that, you're going to have some fun with this. Don't expect this to be, some heavy-handed, man versus nature kind of thing. It's just going to be these two fucking big monsters fighting it out, basically. And as far as I know, I think that was you. You were one of the ones that noticed some of the things in the trailer, and I think pointed this out first, if I'm not mistaken, that the Godzilla we keep seeing him fighting at first may not even be Godzilla, but Mecha Godzilla, right?
No, so no, I don't think they're baiting and switching that. I think the Godzilla that we see is Godzilla, but we have seen Mecha Godzilla. He is in the trailer.
Right, okay,
he is there, yeah. But no, I don't think they're going to do a bait and switch because it goes against what they're already setting up. They've set up that these creatures have had a lifelong war. These species.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's a bit redundant.
No, Andre had that. Never mind. That was Andre who said that. My bad.
Right.
Yeah, he thinks that it's Mecha
if your theaters are closed, get a VPN. Yeah. Bird Boy. I think it'll be cool if they made Owen that little kid from Desert that Grant's scared with Raptor Claw. Oh, right. Imagine conversation between them in Dominion. Yeah, true. So that's a Jurassic World Dominion question. You know, Owen. So this is a fan theory. Have you heard this fan theory?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't hate it. I mean, it's a bit.
I don't hate it, but
it's fine. It's a bit like you're shrinking your universe needlessly.
A little bit, and I don't foresee that kid growing up to be.
I'm sure he'd be terrified, wouldn't he? But I don't want to go near dinosaurs ever.
Not just that, he seems like too soft to be Owen. Owen seems like a Grant 2.0. You know, like he's probably, raised in, lived on a farm and, went camping and fishing and hunting all his life and shit. Yeah.
True. Very true. I think we have Andre in the chat, don't we?
Yeah, I messaged him to let him know you were.
Yeah, I've literally just checked my phone. I got a message from him saying he can join. There you go, Andre.
My bad.
Sent you a thing, bro, Seth.
I should have. I didn't know if you had.
Yes, you should have, Tom.
It's my fault.
Slap your fucking wrist, boy. Unbelievable. I prefer live streaming. Like, if I'm live streaming with people, I do prefer them to be on bloody camera, though. When I'm just sat by myself like a pleb, it does become a bit annoying after a while. Sat like a tool. That's why it's good live streaming with Lauren or Ellie, because then you've got, and Robert as well, Robert Mar Burnett, because you've got people actually sort of visually interacting, right. I guess you could say. But you don't go on, you don't do...
I have a camera, but my problem is I have where my camera is now is too far away from the computer, and I had an extension, and my extension has a short in it. Huh?
Really? Why? Why did you have your camera away from your computer?
Well, it's set up to where you can see me. Where my tower is way too far over.
That makes sense.
So so I have an extension for the USB part, but it has a short in it, so it'll keep going in my ear, and then it'll keep going gray and shit. Yeah, it's better than not fucking with it for now. I'll get a new one. I keep forgetting to order one. Now you remind me. I'll probably do it here while we're on when Andre gets in here.
Yeah. Well, I have sent it to him. I don't know if he's bloody. I've sent out on Twitter, Andre. Marcos A, Mr. H and Tom, thoughts on HBO Max with 17.2 million subscriptions with a slate of big movies lineups. What will be the ballpark?
Actually, they got more than that now. They got triple that now. They just put out a report today. Actually,
did they?
Yep.
So how many do they have then?
Originally, I heard 63, but now the report's saying 61. So,
well, that's good then.
Yeah, it's very good for them. And if you remember, I think it was Disney came out and basically gave away the magic number for these.
We need 70 odd.
No, they need 250.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Where do I get 70 million from? Then?
No, well, that's a good place to be at for where they're at. 70 is where Disney is right now. That's probably
that's where I've got that from.
Yeah. But Netflix is hovering at about 200, and Disney said their goal is 250, so they have roughly $9 to $10 billion in operating revenue.
Well, you know why Netflix has grown so big, don't you? It's because of all the fucking dirty dogs out there. They've got to have Netflix so they can get on Tinder and go, look, do you want to come around and Netflix and chill? That's why. All right, you can't be like, look, do you want to come around and prime and chill? Fine, you ain't got Netflix. I'm not coming near you.
I've never heard it put that way, but you got a point. But no, Netflix is just kind of the thing that everybody has. But
as much as that's a joke, it's actually it's true in terms of how it's become popular.
Well, it's kind of the new theater if you think about it in that sense. Yeah. That's what we used to do is take the ladies out to the theater and hope we're going to get a little, foreplay in the theater. And then, so it's Netflix and chill now instead of going to the theater, basically.
Fuck's sake. Skull Island animated show. So does that mean Kong will live? Yeah. So I was going to discuss that.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. So let me just get this one last super chat. No, well, I'll leave that super chat. So yeah, they've confirmed. So there was this shitty report by the Fandom Wire saying they're making an HBO Max MonsterVerse series about Monarch, and I was like, that's bollocks. I was like, it's complete bollocks. It's not happening.
I know where all these are coming from, but go on. Sorry.
Well, it's just, mate. I can tell you who keeps making up this stuff, and their track record is garbage, like absolutely garbage at the moment. And
well, it could be that, but I actually have another possible explanation. But go on.
Oh no, I'm just saying the person that keeps making some of the. I know, don't worry. But anyway, so that came out. That was on Fandom Wire, and then today's confirmed that Legendary is partnering with Netflix to make a Skull Island, so not Kong, but a Skull Island anime.
All right. So means, yeah.
And there's an anime being made about Tomb Raider as well.
Okay.
Are you not excited? Anyway,
not about the latter, no. The former, though, it could be a prequel. And like you said, you're pointing out the Skull Island aspect that may have nothing to do with Kong. He may be gone. It could be
apparently people are shipwrecked on it, and they're exploring. Trying to live on Skull Island. I guess they've been shipwrecked. So it'll be a kind of a monster of the episode situation. I think
Gotcha.
Which monster are we going to encounter this week? Oh, we've got to run from it, or we're going to befriend it. That sort of thing, which I like. Like it has shades of the '98 sequel cartoon.
Well, yeah, and even if it's a prequel in between, we might get cameos from Kong and see a little bit more about his growing and all that stuff.
Exactly. So that's pretty big news, to be honest. But what were you talking about with the leak?
Well, basically, what's going on with all these, like all of a sudden, there's a Harry Potter show being talked about. There was a couple other HBO Max shows that were being brought up. Script Doctor, if he was here, would back me up on this. Probably he was talking about this too. What he thinks a lot of this is, and I think he's right, is this, we're at that point in the season where a lot of these writers are presenting their ideas to the studios. And he said that a lot of the writers right now are hitting up all the streaming services with all the IP ideas they have. So that's
and what HBO Max doesn't have it. That's why it's completely redundant. Warner Brothers don't own the rights. That's why I was like, nah.
Which one? Tomb Raider or
they don't own the rights to MonsterVerse. It's Legendary.
Oh, no. Well, Legendary does, but actually Warner owns the right. Warner owns Kong, but the Legendary has the other one.
Kong's public domain.
Well, technically, yes.
Yeah. So no, they don't.
Well, they have their version of Kong, and that's it, or whatever. But yeah,
well, they have their version of that King Kong. No, because that was Universal. That movie, wasn't it? King Kong.
No, originally the 33 version's owned by RKO, and it's owned by Warner.
Oh no, not that. I meant Peter Jackson. Was that Universal?
Peter Jackson's is Universal, yeah, but that's unrelated to this in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, so no, Kong is absolutely public domain.
Yeah,
so, so that whole HBO Max thing was just made up completely.
Well, right, no, but what also though is you're going on because it's going on more than that because there's other shows they brought up. What it is though, it could very likely be is these writers that are going out there pitching these ideas. Then what they'll do is they'll call their little buddies at these news sites.
Oh yeah, say,
yeah. By the way, there's this in development. When it's not really in development, they just pitched it.
And they want to get the buzz.
Exactly, they want to get the buzz, and it reminds me of that story you were talking about before with Hellraiser.
Yeah, well, so that the thing about that is that it that's a weird one. Like,
yeah, it's a little bit more complicated. I get that, but
yeah, I know what you're saying.
Now you know what I'm saying though. Is like, yeah, it's these kids, not kids, but these guys who are like and gals who are, they pitched a show to HBO Max, and then they run to the press and say, hey, by the way, HBO Max is developing a Harry Potter show, and then HBO comes back and goes, no, we're not.
Yeah,
and it's because this person pitched it to them. They want the word out there to get the buzz going.
Yeah.
So then, and especially their pitch.
Justify them picking it up.
Exactly. It puts out the idea that this is hot commodity and all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Got one super chat from Mary Jane Kells. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone that's joining. It really does mean the world to me that these are becoming much more successful. I do these live streams every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. 9 p.m. GMT, and that's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when they start. Please do set a notification on your phone, whatever. Join me on Twitter at Mr. H Reviews. I send the links out. Just keep an eye out because they're good. They're good fun, and hopefully they'll kind of take your mind off the state of the world, and we can just kind of shoot the breeze.
Right.
But thank you all for joining me. One last question: have there been any other kaijus or titans confirmed for GVK? You guys are awesome and worth every penny to chat with you. Well, that's very, very kind. Thank you.
Other than the Mecha, I don't know.
So the Warbats have been confirmed.
Yeah, well, yeah. And what do they call those things? Not
these things. These are the Warbats.
Yeah, and aren't they supposed to be like the what do they call them? The bone crushers or whatever.
Skull crawlers.
Skull crawlers. Yeah, thank you.
I can't remember if they're confirmed. I think
they're in the toys. I know that. I think.
But, yeah, I think people are rumoring that they're going to be there because we're going back to Skull Island.
And then I can't remember in the trailer. Did we catch a glimpse of those monsters that were in the first Godzilla?
Mutos? No.
No? Okay.
No, they weren't anywhere in the trailer.
Okay.
Look, as far as confirmation goes, the Warbats are the only Titans that are 100% confirmed. And that's because they're in the trailer. Right. The only other one, which is, I guess you could say, is sort of confirmed, are whatever these bats are. Now, some people are saying they're not Titans, but Kong was considered a Titan, and he was tiny, realistically, in the first one by comparison to what he is now. He's 3 times the size, isn't he? So I would still say that these are considered to be Titans. I don't know about you, but I'd still say they're Titans.
Yeah, well, they're in that vein, I guess. And as far as Kong goes, I'm sure we'll get an explanation. And I mean, we all knew they were going to have to size him up.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course.
But my theory is basically it's nuclear driven. That's why he's able to resist.
Well, they've already said that. Apparently.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Well, Mike Dirty said it he said like he's feeding off radiation. Basically.
That's what I thought.
All right, fine.
I figured they had like some kind of test somewhere or a bomb hit during World War II or something like that, and it affected his growth. Is what I was figuring.
Jack, what about Asian cinema, lesser known movies? I don't mean movies from Hong Kong or South Korea, but movies from Thailand or Indonesia. I recently watched The Night Comes for Us. Highly recommend. That rings a bell. The Night Comes for Us. I'm not massively familiar with those markets, and I don't have access to them. It's about access, isn't it? But The Night Comes for Us does actually sound familiar. I don't know why. Maybe someone told me to watch it.
Yeah, for me, it's just finding the time. I barely can find the time.
Yeah. I don't know about The Night Comes for Us. I'm looking at it now. I watched an Indian horror movie the other week or the other year. I can't even remember when it was, to be honest. But it's I don't watch an awful lot of it, to be fair. I'd like to. I'm a big fan of South Korean cinema, so I'm sure Thailand or Indonesia has good cinema as well. I don't see why they wouldn't, in fairness. So, but again, yeah, as Tom says, it's all about time as well. Time, fucking.
Marco
crazy.
says there was something else in his super chat we didn't answer.
They've disappeared now. So, what else didn't I answer, my dude? Please do.
Sure, yeah.
Just let me know again. Just don't. You don't have to do a super chat to say it. Just drop it in. If you can keep an eye on that as well, Tom.
Sure.
Yeah, happy to answer. Got to remember, like, this chat moves quite quickly sometimes, and if I'm reading something,
well, here's a good question.
Hey,
here's a good question. TJ Halls wants to know if we think they'll make sequels if Kong versus Godzilla is successful. You've always been one that has been saying that this deal is going to probably get extended from the start.
Well, it's all to do with money. Toho are happy with it. Toho are absolutely fine with it. They don't care. They're like, yeah, do it, whatever. Like, they're very happy with it. So it's to do with Legendary. I think Legendary are pretty pissed off at the moment because one of their financial partners, Warner Brothers, kind of dicked them over a little bit. So yeah, I think that they'll be hard pressed to not want to do anything based on the response of that trailer. To be fair, that trailer has now had over 30 million views.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Well, it was number one within a couple hours trending on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it had over 20 million views in 24 hours. That's fucking madness. So it's absolutely blown up. So they'd be stupid not to be fair. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes, really. But it's also to do with the state of the world, your country, the States. I don't know if you are there, but I presume so because most of my audience are stateside. So if your country, you know, the COVID policies, it's not COVID, it's policies pertaining to COVID. If they don't relax, then that will be a massive issue with theaters. You know, like theaters have to open back up. Money still has to start flowing again. Otherwise, the industry's done, really. So that will probably hinder it as well, because Legendary are pretty big in, you know, they get the majority of their money from, you know, a few core movies that they release. So yeah, there you go. I don't know. What about you, Tom?
No, you're pretty much right on that. And, I mean, as far as Kong, and I mean, yeah, I think the fact that they haven't done another Shin Gojira is clear evidence that you're right, that Toho is very happy with the way things are going. They're making plenty of money this way. They don't want to rock the boat. They just as soon not put another one out there to, you know, kind of muddy the market right now. And at first they weren't too happy with the 2014 one. That's kind of what it felt like to me. But then, you know, I mean, the way I got it, the studio wasn't so hopped up on the box office for the second film, but Kong did well, and obviously it did well. I think. Yeah, I was going to say, in the long term with the video sales and the toy sales and all that business, and obviously Legendary has, you know, it makes sense for them as a business, as a production company, to want to continue it. And yeah, so I mean, I think didn't they already re-up on it? I thought they did, or was there talks?
I heard rumors that they did.
Okay, then I thought I saw a video where you talked about it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing 100% confirmed.
No, but I wouldn't be surprised if after this, I don't know if the next film will be Kong versus Godzilla again. My guess is they'll probably separate them out, and we'll get another Kong and another Godzilla separate movie.
Got a brand new member, Darren Matthews. Thank you so much, man. If you want to support the channel, ladies and gents, please do become a channel member. You do get benefits. Currently, it's just a weekly playthrough, but I'm looking to change it. But no promises at this point in time. But yeah, become a member if you want to support the channel. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support. And we also have Andre. He's here.
Greetings, everyone. Finally, I'm here.
Unbelievable. Tardy here. God.
Well, a better tardy than not at all, right?
Yeah, touche. How
when he wants.
Or rather, when opportunity permits.
I know.
Or rather, but yeah. So, what are we talking about today?
Godzilla.
We're just talking about the delay stateside, because it's not delayed anywhere else. So, just stateside. It's an interesting kind of event, really.
Well, kind of. It's HBO Max, and that's kind of like mostly US exclusive. So it kind of like makes sense that if they delay it there, it's going to be delayed in the US only, whereas everywhere else, where it's like leased out to international partners, it's going to premiere on the original day, which means it'll probably be on pirate sites before on HBO Max.
Yeah, true. True. So what's your take on it then? Why do you think that this has happened? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? I've given my opinion God knows how many times now, so let's say yours.
No, my opinion is that this is about giving the Snyder Cut some more breathing space, first and foremost. That would be my initial guess. I don't see any other reason why they would push it back by a measly 5 days. I mean, like, the movie is done. Like, from a technical perspective, they could drop it tomorrow. They could drop it 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So it has to be something else. It's not big enough for delay, but it can't be anything substantial.
I think it's to retain and to bring in for the next month, because they moved it closer to the beginning of the next month.
Now that could be that they want, like I said, some spillover effect.
And not only that, it's a holiday weekend, so there is a little motivation there too. And that's what I was thinking too, because that's what somebody else pointed out as well in one of the when it was brought up.
Yeah.
True. Real quick, Finbar White says, could there be a Son of Kong film, etc.? Thanks for all your hard work. Enjoyed your Doom vid. Thank you. Oh, that was mental. Members will know what I'm talking about, as well as Patreons. Doom. Oh, that game. Yeah. I don't know if there'll be a Son of Kong because we don't.
Yeah.
We've not. I think maybe a bit too cheesy for the MonsterVerse. And I know they do something cheesy, but I don't think that they do that. I just don't see it.
Let's put it this way: the only way I'd see something like that happening would be if Kong actually dies in this, and then just to set up the idea that, oh no, there's another one out there, and there's a baby Kong on Skull Island. And that could be what your damn series is about, Mystery.
True.
We haven't even thought about that.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly. I very much doubt that they're going to use the title "Son of King Kong" because it was stupid when they used it the first time in the late 1930s, and it's stupid now. But that they continue with simply another Kong, which effectively is the Son of Kong, that I don't see any problem with. It's like kind of lame and stupid anyway. That we're dealing with the last Kong and the last Godzilla, so if like one of them dies, then the species is extinct. Also, like a bit lame, if you ask me. But
that might even play into
because they want to up the stakes somewhat. I guess maybe.
I was gonna say, I'm sure that'll play a big part into the next film too. So
true.
And Marcos's super chat question was, do you think HBO Max will be at where do we think it'll be at subscription wise, mid 2021 or by the end of 2021? 80 million or more or less subscribers.
Well, if Disney Plus is only at 70 odd million, or was only at 70 odd million,
we don't know where they're at now. They haven't reported.
HBO Max, let's be honest, HBO Max isn't bringing the content. Like, we're talking about these films, sure, but they're not bringing like sustainable content. You know, they've not planned it. They launched it with nothing. They've had little bits and pieces, dribs and drabs. Like we had, like Raised by Wolves, for instance, right? Like that got a lot of people on board, sure, but they don't even have the second series in production yet. You know, like second season, sorry. Like they just don't have enough to keep people, I don't think. So I don't think it'll be much more than Disney. It'll match Disney Plus, if not, if be under, to be honest.
Well,
I can't imagine it be that good.
That kind of leads into what I was saying before about the whole reason why they probably moved Kong versus Godzilla closer to the end of the month is to retain.
Yeah.
And then that, I think you're right. That's going to be the big question is, are there going to be enough of these big movies that they've announced, especially with this new trailer, that they solidified a little bit more with Dune, I believe, and a few other things that, and they made a big deal about The Matrix. That fucking title stayed on the screen for at least 4 or 5 seconds. Yeah. That stayed on.
You've been sucked into The Matrix. Did you think about
maybe that could be.
Maybe. This is all an illusion, mate.
Wait, I got a phone call. No, I don't want you to tell me about The Matrix.
If they offer you pills, Tom, don't take them.
Don't take pills from strangers.
Hosea, what's up from New Zealand? I've been rewatching the Mr. Hate. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed them. A lot of people think that they're serious, but they are very clearly intentional comedy. But I guess comedy is subjective. Love the channel. Mortal Kombat trailer should drop soon too. It should actually. I'm excited for the trailer. I'm excited just to see what it's like. So yeah,
there's a little bit of Mortal Kombat in that trailer. So yeah, back to answering the question before. I think if they can continue to drop movies every month that bring people to the table, then and only then they'll maybe be lucky enough to crack that 100 million by the summer.
Do you think?
I think so.
Has Disney Plus even done that yet, though?
They probably have by now.
Right. I think so. Yeah, I also think that Disney. Well, don't you think that they would announce it with big fanfare when they?
They will, but they'll wait till it's closer to a time where it's more convenient for their stock and everything. Yeah,
that's true. They're going to wait with that until.
And I think they did give us an update with that Star Wars.
February 15th. It's like when they have like the Q.
That's what I'm saying. So we'll find out then. I bet you when they come out, then my guess is Disney Plus is sitting at roughly 110 to 120 million subscribers right now. That's what they're going to report.
That'll be interesting to see whether suddenly HBO Max says something. Like, just
They probably
come back,
will.
give some numbers.
Probably
I reckon,
will.
yeah. They're just playing this stock game. But you be careful.
It is.
Be careful, because GameStop proves you anything, that stocks are fickle.
Well, that's a pump and dump. That's what we need our Rob for. He'll explain a pump and dump to you.
Have you seen about the GameStop situation?
Yeah.
They've
I've
literally made a hedge fund go bankrupt.
Yep.
Yep.
That's a pump and dump.
And people are like, but this is illegal. It's like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
If that's illegal, then fuck you, all you rich people.
It's the same thing that happened to KB Toys, same thing that happened to Dunkin' Donuts, same thing that happened to Hostess and a million other fucking businesses. This is called a pump and dump. This is what they do. They come in, they jack up the stocks, they take out a bunch of loans on the company while the stock's high, then they default on all the fucking loans. And it's legal, but it's so fucking.
Are you talking about the hedge fund that wanted it to go under? Basically, they were
that's the whole thing. Is you want the place to go under so that you can default on all the loans. So then you sit there with all your corporates at the top with a big bunch of fucking money. And it's called a pump and dump. And Rob explains it better than I do.
And Reddit absolutely destroyed them.
Well, it's
they
obvious.
filed for bankruptcy.
Well, that's what they do. Yeah, that's part of the steps.
No, as in they had to take out money to keep, as in the hedge funds.
Oh, so it wasn't a Chapter 11 or whatever. It was the other one.
The hedge fund's gone. Like, as in,
okay.
I'll
have to have Rob check into it because he knows more about this stuff. Andre, do you know anything from your perspective?
I've been busy. I haven't been able to do any kind of research into it, so I want to read up on it before I say anything, because as it is, I hear you say it now. I saw the chatter in our earlier live show, and I've done nothing in between, so I haven't had the chance.
Normally, going bankrupt is part of the pump and dump, but it depends on the situation here. I guess I'd have to be more informed, because that's part of the whole deal.
Look into it, because they're screwed basically, because it's been all on CNN and like all these news shows.
Yeah, I think it's a big deal.
We need to stop these Reddit people from buying GameStop. Stop.
And
you can't.
And that only means that someone used the financier's own game against them. And of course, then they want to shut down the market and everything. They're all for it as long as they benefit from it. But the moment that they are not in control, if someone uses their own dirty tricks against them, then all hell is out. Then
they got problems there. If other people are making money, we've got problems there. Yeah.
If people other than us are making money, then they have a problem, because they want.
That's probably what happened. Is these guys warned about the pump and dump? Then is what happened.
That's what happened. Yeah, and so then they went and inflated the prices.
That's what it is. Okay, that's what I did a shit job explaining. Like I said, Rob explains it better. But basically, what it is these companies will come in, they run up the stock by buying a bunch of stock and by splitting it up and all this shit, and then makes the stock look like it's going up. And what they do then is, after the stock's gone up, they go and take out a bunch of loans on that company. And then as soon as the company starts to go back down, then they go bankrupt.
So Reddit stopped it from going back down.
Okay, so then they stop the pump and dump. Gotcha. Because then that's what happens. Then,
and so then they're screwed.
Then they file bankruptcy. Yeah, and then they file bankruptcy on the loans at that time, and then they don't have to pay back the loans and all that shit. So what they did. Okay, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's very, very funny.
Cool.
Well, that's actually hilarious. If people buying up stock actually sabotaged their market gaming, that's actually very, very cool, and I fully support it.
Yeah, well, they noticed it going up, and they were like, "What's going on here then?" And so they went all over Reddit, and then people were just like, "Yeah, sod it." And like a multi-millionaire just decided to chuck in $100,000 as well. It was the highest. It was the most expensive stock trading all day, even higher than Tesla.
Fantastic. Well, that's very cool. I'm so happy. I would have liked to see in the faces of those that were planning on tanking this.
Yeah, if anybody
always work out as planned.
If anybody in the chat knows it better than me and I got some part of it wrong, please correct me. But that's my understanding of how the pump and dump works. But
so good. Anyway, Sam Dean dropped in with an Aussie. I think that's an Aussie $5. Says, "Good day, guys." I think the giveaway to the Aussies there. I just wanted to ask about Aussie cinema hits and misses. Always great conversations happening here. So what did you like or dislike? Cheers. I don't get much in the UK. We don't get much Aussie cinema. I literally wouldn't be able to tell you what's come out and is Aussie cinema specific, actually, at all.
I mean, we have a lot of movies that used to get made in Australia, but I didn't say we get a lot of Australian movies here. There have been a few that have kind of leaked over here, but like we've had more instances where they'll remake something. Like even that I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, the Adam Sandler movie from about 10 years back. That's actually a remake of an Australian movie with or a UK movie, one of the two. I think it's Australian with Paul Hogan called Strange Bedfellows, for instance.
Yeah. We honestly don't get it. We don't get that market.
Yeah, not very often.
Which is really odd. You'd think that the UK would, to be honest. Like,
yeah,
that's so strange.
Especially the UK. Maybe not us as much, but definitely you'd think the UK would.
Yeah. And we also don't get Australian movies in theaters. However, I will say this, that Australian movies are something that one can check out. And I'm a big fan of Australian horror movies, which are freaking awesome. Especially like those with like a survival element to them are brilliant.
Was it Wolf Creek, isn't it? That was one of the biggest.
Yeah, I think that was one of them. Because there was like a time like before we had kids when like I would like find loads of these like obscure movies and stuff that like this to us were obscure. Of course they weren't where they were from, and many of them were Australian. And I would like make suggestions to my wife what we see tonight, and she was, "No, that sounds stupid. That sounds stupid." And I said, "Yeah, but this one is Australian. Bring it on," because they always deliver. So,
I mean,
Australian horror rules.
People are bringing up like Muriel's Wedding.
And sex. I love the Babadook.
I can't believe I didn't think about it. The Babadook.
There's a few that leak in once in a while. Like I was saying, Crocodile Dundee, of course, like people are bringing up too. And
again, someone's actually just said Muriel's Wedding. Yeah,
I said that one too. And then, I mean, some people are bringing up the Peter Jackson movies. I mean, those are technically from New Zealand, but yeah. But yeah, those kind of made their way over here eventually.
Yeah, true.
It usually just depends. You know, you had the Mad Maxes back in the day, of course, too.
And Chopper. Yeah. Let's not forget about Chopper.
Yes.
That's a great freaking movie.
That's a very, very good film.
And also the follow-up with like that Underworld miniseries that they have like going on there. 2 episodes there were also devoted to Chopper. They were pretty decent as well. Oh, yeah.
Now, is that new Paul Hogan movie from an Australian movie, or was that... I don't know if anybody knows in the chat. It's out on streaming now, but it's coming out on Blu-ray. It's called Mr. Dundee or something like that. He plays himself in the movie.
Yeah. I'm familiar with it. It's kind of like the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie where he played himself, which was also pretty decent.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's like it looks pretty funny anyway.
Yeah. So no, here's like the thing that at least in our part of the world, Australian movies are relatively obscure, but they are freaking great movies. Many of them.
I mean, a few people brought up some more like Razorback and some other ones, but yeah, it's very rare and few to feel like they.
It's one of those things that when you're asked, you're put on the spot, it becomes really difficult just to go, oh yeah, this. But then when you start to think about it more and more, there are huge.
I just remembered that also, like when I was a kid, we got like a couple of Australian kids series as well. I just remember now. Yeah, just for the first time, I remembered the Girl from Tomorrow. That was a really cool series. Right. And Pugwall had its moments too.
Wasn't there a series Round the Twist? Wasn't that an Aussie series?
Yeah. I think so. I can't remember. Was it Round the Twist, Round the Bend?
Yeah, I
think it was Around the Twist. I remember the theme song now when you say it.
Yeah. I have to say, soaps. Yeah, there's a lot of Australian soaps, Home and Away and Neighbours.
Yeah, we had both of them in Norway, and I am very proud to say I never watched a single episode. Although I do know that Kylie Minogue was in one of them.
Both of them weren't they? I think wasn't Danny Minogue as well.
You should have brought that up with Michael from Retro Blasting. He's got a big thing for Kylie Minogue.
Oh yeah, of course he does. But it never came up. We discussed it last time.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we did the first time though. Yeah.
Yeah, talked about how how "Confide in Me" is my favorite song by her.
I should see if I could
Yeah.
find that clip from Kevin Smith. I wonder what Mr. H would think about that.
It was Round the Twist, apparently. People are saying, Round the
Yeah.
Twist. So there you go. Remembered it right.
Yeah, there you go.
Jose, have you seen the New Zealand film Once We're Warriors? Rings a bell.
I have know of its existence. I know it's been released in Norway. It's been very promptly displayed here, but I have not seen it myself.
Yeah. Heard of it, but I've never seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've heard of it. Again, I haven't seen it, but I have heard of it.
I have to get back in some Australian movies now. I come to think of it, because they're just like so cool.
I was looking at some of the screenshots from it. Yeah, it looks good, to be honest.
Yeah. I've only heard good things about it.
So what's new with you guys anyway? What is new with you both? How's the channel going and stuff? Because we're way off topic now. And
well, it's going pretty decent. Of course, I have to keep the content up, so I have like 2 scripts. One I have to review and one I have to finish. I'm going to do that now relatively soon. So yeah, and once I do that, then Tom is going to be really busy.
There you go, Tom. Be awake for a few days, mate.
Probably.
No, there you go. You just fell asleep briefly. There you go.
No, I was looking for something, but yeah.
Just tuned out listening to more videos coming. So, but yeah, no, it's going pretty good. I'm very happy that we started with the live shows 3 days a week. That's made a huge difference.
Good. Any interesting interviews coming up?
We have one lined up, but I'll refrain from saying exactly which one until it's all done and locked down and everything. But only one upcoming that I know of. Or do we have any more than that I don't know of, Tom?
For the morning show?
No, I mean for like interviews.
Oh, interviews, we got a few in the can, but nothing coming up at the moment other than just a few things that haven't been put in stone yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got I should be interviewing the director of The Void and Psycho Goreman.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Yeah, so a lot of people on my channel will be massively big fans of The Void. Not necessarily Psycho Goreman, but of The Void specifically. So should be interviewing him. One of my normal long, again, you guys would like to a long time. Similar to me, I like to have as long as possible to chit chat to people. So should be interviewing him about both films basically. So because Psycho Goreman, great and all, but I want to know more about The Void. So yeah, should be doing that, which will be interesting.
Yeah, very cool. I look forward.
I got Lauren on Friday's roundtable to discuss the Expanse. You got to get on it, mate. I'm into season 3 already.
What?
I'm into season 3 of the Expanse already.
Already?
Yeah,
Damn,
man.
that was fast.
It's really good. It's really good.
I have to get started on that quick now.
You do. I would have finished it by the time you finish season 1. Otherwise, it's really decent. So yeah, me and Lauren will be reviewing season 1 together, and then hopefully when she finishes season 2, come back on and kind of do it like that. Hopefully.
Cool.
So,
how far is she along in watching The Expanse?
I think she just finished season 1.
Okay.
So yeah, it's really decent. I think I was braced for it being really slow because people were like, "Oh, it's really slow," and but it's not as slow as what I think people were hyping it to be. What's this you got there, Tom?
Well, this is actually a clip from Comic Book Men from years ago, but it pertains to He-Man, and it's kind of interesting considering.
I know, but I have no love for He-Man either, but he's got a place in the world in a comic book store. He can't make fun of somebody. He's got a place in the world.
I have no love for He-Man. I sometimes.
I know, but I have no love for He-Man either. But he's got a place in the world in a comic book store. He can't.
Okay, so why is he making a He-Man show again? Someone please tell me.
Yeah. What?
I feel like Brian there with that look on his face, like, why are you making a He-Man show?
What the fuck? How weird. So if you don't know, guys,
Yeah.
he's making a He-Man series as well as he's making a He-Man series.
No, he's just making the series, and I'll say again, I want to see that whole clip in context.
Well,
to
I've
hear
got the
what was said
entire
before
clip
and
right
what
here if
was
you want
said
it.
after. Before
I got it all
before-
here. I just don't want to play too much of it for copyright reasons, but
Yeah, no, that's fair. But like, I'm not going to make any judgments on
Jeez.
one
basically what they
soundbite.
did was, it's about the toy, and basically then, okay, he says here, let me see where it's at here.
I have no love for He-Man either, but he's got a place in the world in a comic book store. You can't make fun of somebody else's interest. You're like, He-Man's stupid. I like Batman. You know, what's the diff?
And what kind of clerk is rude to customers?
Yeah, that's it. There.
Imagine that.
That's it.
Okay,
Somebody
so
brought in a
what did
toy.
But what did the Asian guy say? Did he say, like, well, He-Man is a piece of crap and I have no love for it? And then he says, well, I have no love for it either, but still, that's important. Because if that's what's going on,
He's saying, but he still has his place in the world and in comic.
yeah,
book
because to
story.
me, it sounds like Kevin Smith is defending He-Man from
He is,
someone that
but
hates it.
That's point taken, but he still says he has no love for
Yeah,
fucking
he's saying
He-Man.
why is he show running a property he has no love for? Yeah.
Well, he doesn't need to have, like, massive, passionate love
But
for
he
it
said
years
he
ago.
did,
needs
though.
to
That's the
get it
problem,
now.
though. And I'll find the clip someday here soon, Andre. But he did specifically, he's talking about, like, oh, when I was growing up, I loved He-Man and blah, blah, blah. It's like, you lying motherfucker.
Yeah, well, basically he's lying, isn't he? That's the problem. He's coming out and lying.
Well, and I kind of figured that because I said that to myself at first, and I may have even said it to Andre. I know I said it earlier, too, was thinking age-wise, he'd have been a little too old for He-Man. I know he was a geek and into stuff like that, but I really have a hard time seeing him as a He-Man fan as a kid. And then, the only other part that's brought up here, because it's a toy that this guy brought in here, is I could probably get to where you can see it here. But, like, they're talking about buying the toy, and the guy wants, like, $200 some for it. And then, like, Ming's like, oh, if it was Conan, maybe. So, like, that's his whole thing, is, like, he's more into Conan, but still.
Well, a man of good taste, then.
Well, I'm not saying that, but it's just the point is,
He-Man's pretty good.
yeah, but the point is if you're going to be running a show like that, it would be different if Kevin was out there saying, like, yeah, I was never a huge fan as a kid, but I feel like they obviously feel like I can bring some kind of unique vision to this or something like that. That'd be different.
Mm.
And I love Kevin. Like, you don't understand, Andre. I love Kevin Smith, but to hear him say something like that and then knowing he's, in charge of this fucking He-Man show has me worried as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, that's not good. Like, to say, it's not. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I can probably send you the whole episode or a clip of it or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, that, isn't it? But
It's not like a smoking gun or anything, but it's more like a what the fuck, dude. Kind of thing.
Yeah, that's really that's all it is right now. And then we'll see the series itself. If that series is awful and he's taking all the creative choices, then yeah, that one soundbite becomes much worse. But,
especially when he went
save it and wait situation, I guess.
Yeah, especially when he went out of his way.
Save and wait.
Well, especially when he went out of his way to attack Clownfish, and then especially considering how many fucking rumors he drops, and that was his whole thing about unfounded rumors. And he's the reason we're talking about that Batman animated series right now. On top of how many other rumors has he fucking started and shit. Like, that's the other thing. Is like, I love Kevin Smith. He's part of the reason I do this shit. But I'm like, come on, dude, you got to be real. You can't be fucking doing this shit no more.
But you still call him a hypocrite. Like, it's all right.
Well, yeah, it's okay to be a hypocrite. I get that to a point, but like, he's got to really start watching it because I've been sticking up for the guy for years and his crying bullshit. And shilling and all that stuff. It's one thing to be a shill. Don't be a fucking liar.
Yeah, true. Anyway, we've got a new channel member, so thank you so much. Hosea. I don't want to butcher your name, man. But thank you so much. Really appreciate it. We had a good response to channel members, so really, really do Appreciate it. You're getting some more love in the chat here, Tom. Anything you should never do in a film? Tom rocks. Tom, take it away, mate. You're the one that's...
God, there's probably a ton of things you should never do in a film, but I'm sure you want like a specific like
Never drop your keys.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, do you want like something you shouldn't do as a character, or like something you shouldn't do aesthetically or technically in a film?
I'm running with like horror movie mistakes.
Oh, okay.
Like, don't drop your keys.
Well, there's a classic running up the stairs. Duh.
Yeah. Don't look in the cupboard.
Yeah, why look in a closet? Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like I always loved Eddie Murphy's bit about Poltergeist. It's like, you know, black people wouldn't stay that long in a house like that. Walk in, get out. Oh, too bad we can't stay, baby. I watched Poltergeist. The kid got stuck in the TV. I was like, fuck this, we're leaving. Yeah, I went down to the cop shop. I was like, my kid's in the TV. I just wanted y'all to know so you didn't think I killed her. She's stuck. I changed the channel. It didn't work. So I got the fuck out. I love that bit.
Andre?
Things not to do in a movie on screen. Never split up. Never split up. Yeah. That's the most stupid thing that I ever hear in a movie. It's like, let's split up so we can cover more grounds. The only place where that was like done well was in that that weird horror movie, the one with Chris Hemsworth. Where there's like some kind of like devil house. Yeah, that's the one exactly. Where you have like this group and they're like, okay, we must never under any circumstance now split up. We have to stay together. And then he's like sprayed with this thing to make him an idiot. And then it's like, now we have to split up so we can cover more ground. So yeah, never ever split up.
Pretty much. Always, I know you don't
stay together.
I know you don't like the film so much, Andre, but pretty much Randy's dead on with all his rules in that movie. He's got him pretty much. Yeah. You know, don't
really,
say,
you mean?
Yeah. Don't say you'll be right back. Don't go nowhere alone. Don't go upstairs. You know, all those rules. You know, all the rules he pretty much points out, and everybody else does. They pretty much nail them all in that movie.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd still say the most important one is don't split up, no matter what you do.
And don't misplace your phone. Everyone seems to misplace their fucking mobile phone. Everyone has a mobile phone in the world. Well, most people have a mobile phone in the world. I'm aware some people don't. But in these movies, these people clearly have mobile phones. They clearly have smartphones. Don't misplace it. Like, goddamn.
Well, I like the ones that are clever about it. Like either you
be smart about it, but it's when people are just being stupid. Like that's in your pocket. Why don't you take it out and do it?
That's one of the major issues with a lot of movies now is that cell phones have made a lot of movies. Like I've even seen, I'm sure there's plenty of videos on YouTube because I've seen the memes before where it's like, you know, if this movie had a cell phone, it'd be over in one scene. You know, Home Alone is one that comes to mind right away, you know, and shit like that. And there's a few other ones that like, you know, so it's really difficult. Because I remember even writing a script with a buddy of mine, working on it with him. And yeah, it was the one thing I really didn't buy off him. He had this deal in it about the cell phones. And I'm like, is this thing real? He's like, yeah, it's real. I'm like, it better be because it sounds unbelievable as shit. It was the one thing I could not wrap my head around in the script because that's what I was helping him is tying everything together and making it work. And I'm like, I just don't buy this cell phone thing. I mean, can't you just say where they're up in this one place, they don't have service and whatnot like that? Because I mean, I get rid of this other bit. It just doesn't sound believable. It was he had some convoluted thing where it was some group had put up some cell phone blocking technology. I'm like, I mean, it would be, like I said, it would almost be easier and more believable if you just had the group blow up the cell phone tower. Like you're going to this really extreme to explain this, and it's like that's the problem with cell phones in these kind of situations, whether it's a horror film, action film, anything. Yeah, they kind of create a problem.
Bob Sav says check the backseat of your car. You should never do. Yes, absolutely. Never ever check the backseat of your car in a horror movie.
Never check to see if the killer's dead. That's another one that always bothers me.
But no, always ensure that they're actually dead.
Ensure, but don't go up and do the foot tap thing. Fucking.
There was another movie, like one of the zombie movies, did this really. Was it Zombieland or something like that?
Yeah, I watched that. It's on Netflix. It was great.
Yeah, no, because that one did it. That was also like really, really good at establishing rules. Like always double tap. Take that one extra headshot just to play it safe.
Do your card,
and check. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest peeves of horror movies. Whenever they go check on the bad guys, like either get the fuck out of there, or do some more damage. Otherwise, get the hell away.
Yeah, that's another one. That if you have like the main villain that's temporarily incapacitated, don't turn your back and wait for him to recover. Then you need to freaking go and make sure that he's proper incapacitated before you go and turn your back on something, and then be sure he's not going to stand up.
That's
again.
my only complaint about the first Halloween film. My only complaint, the original Halloween, is when Laurie knocks his ass out. And she's just kind of hanging around because John didn't know what to fucking do with her until Michael got up. It's like, bitch, get the hell out of the house.
There is a right, guys. I think that about. Oh no, one more question, which actually goes into me signing out. Does Andre have a channel on YouTube? So Andre and Tom are both on Midnight's Edge. Andre is the boss man of Midnight's Edge, and Tom helps do editing and things like that. Is that right? And as Midnight's Edge After Dark and things like. I mean, you guys explain it.
Yeah, well, basically, I'm the owner and editor in chief of Midnight's Edge, and Tom is my right hand man and does all the tech stuff, is invaluable in live streams, and also goes on and represents in loads of other shows like this. But go check out Midnight's Edge. We do similar but complementary subjects and topics as Mr. H does. So if you like his stuff, there's a good chance you'll like ours as well.
My best way of explaining is we cover genre entertainment. We do retrospectives, editorials, and
I've just left the channel in the chat now.
Awesome.
So please do go and subscribe. But that about rounds it up for one evening, though. Marty D dropped on and says, "I salute you three sirs." Well, thank you so much, dude. Really appreciate it. I really appreciate everyone joining. This is the round table. We have specific topics that I'm sort of laying in now here and there to get the conversation flowing first, and then we go into the normal kind of hangout afterwards. So thank you all for joining me. This is every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. GMT, and that's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Friday, ladies and gents, you asked for it. Please come out in support because I've watched The Expanse. I'm watching it. I'm into season 3 now. We've got Lauren Chen dropping on to review season 1. So please do come out on Friday, show your support for the channel. You asked me to do it. I've done it. So please do come out and support. And when you guys eventually get around to bloody watching it, hopefully we can review it too.
Do that. Also, Read by Nature. He has a perfect description here.
Actually,
Tom is Robbie Robertson and Andre is J. Jonah Jameson.
No, you're nothing like J. Jonah though. Rob is more like J. Jonah. You're more like Perry White. I would compare you more to Perry White. I'll be your Clark Kent to your Perry White, or at least even your Jimmy Olsen to your Perry White. That's more like
where can everyone?
You're way too level-headed. It's way too level-headed for J. Jonah, though. Sorry.
Where can everyone find you, respectively, guys?
You can find me on Midnight's Edge, and you can follow me on Twitter. You'll see the handle right there. Although I'm not too active there, but head on over to Midnight's Edge, and you'll be fine.
That makes Rob Lois Lane.
Tom, where can they find you?
Same places, Midnight's Edge on Twitter and Facebook and all those fine places.
Not Midnight's Edge After Dark?
Of course, Midnight's Edge After Dark as well, like you mentioned already. You mentioned
it. Your bloody channels for you, you forget.
I don't need to waste more of your time. You did a great job already plugging them, so thank you so much.
And you can follow me over on Twitter and Instagram. So I do have an Instagram as well, at Missed H Reviews. It's the same thing as just over here. So just follow that at Mr. H Reviews, Twitter and Instagram. Thank you so much for joining, though, guys. Really, really did appreciate it. Join on Friday. It'll be a good one. You guys will like